Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning to Prof. Hayati and all my fellow friends. We are from Group 1, The Unusual, and today we will present the privatization of utilities companies in Malaysia. Firstly, I'm going to introduce our group members, starting from myself, Nur Faraiza binti Rubai, our group leader, Nur Amira Sahira, followed by Nurul Aina Sakina and Nur Shaharibah. So without further ado, let's start with the introduction. In 1980s, the trend towards privatization has been increasing in many parts of the world. This occurred because government-owned enterprises have been identified as inefficient and less innovation-oriented due to their monopoly orientation. On the other hand, private sector is believed would boost innovative skills and business environment. For the past decades, we can witness the effect of privatization on economy, education, technology, and innovation. As you can see from Graph A, the research done by Earl and Spark on effect of privatization, we can observe an increasing rate of employment, productivity, and export propensity. So, what exactly is privatization? Why does it have such a big impact on the current world? Privatization is when a business, operation, or property owned by the government becomes owned by a private, non-government party. It also describes the transition of a company from being publicly traded to becoming privately held. It generally helps governments to save money and to increase efficiency. The main difference between government-owned operation and non-government is one, to maximize social welfare, while the other one is to gain maximum profits. Nevertheless, in Malaysia, technological and economic efficiencies in providing service to the public are the expected benefits from the privatization of public utilities companies. Therefore, in this presentation, we are going to identify the government departments and statutory bodies that have been privatized, and we will discuss whether the technological and economic benefits of privatization have been achieved.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nur Shaharibah and I will be presenting about the privatization of government departments and statutory bodies. Since the introduction of the privatization program from 1983 to April 2009, about 500 privatized projects have been implemented throughout the country. The methods followed for implementing privatization in Malaysia was stated in the Privatisation Master Plan 1991 prepared by the EPU, Economic Planning Unit, with the help of consortium of local and foreign consultants. There is 5 methods. First, sale of equity. This mode of privatization applies to government companies and it results in the transfer of 3 organization-related components, namely management responsibility, assets and personnel. Second, sale of assets. This method can apply to any kind of government organization, be it a company or any other type of entity. Third, lease of assets. This method involves the transfer of rights to use the assets for a specified period of time in return for specified payments. The length of the period depends on the type of the project. Fourth, management contract. This method of privatization involves contracting of private sector managed expertise to management government entities for a specified fee. Lastly, build-operate transfer (BOT) and build-operate (BO). BOT is applicable for privatizing new projects such as roads and water supply projects. It involves the following steps. The private sector constructs the facility using its own fund, operates for a concession period, and later on transfer it to governments. BO is similar to BOT but does not involve the transfer of facility to the government. Both BOT and BO are accompanied by a grant of a license and/or concession. Statutory body is an association which is incorporated in accordance with federal legislation. A statutory body is a body corporate or an agency of the Government of Malaysia that is incorporated by its own Incorporation Act for the purpose of the federal government but does not include a local authority or a corporation that is incorporated under the Companies Act 1965. Examples of statutory bodies are Bank Negara Malaysia, Malaysian Industrial Development Authority (MIDA), Securities Commission Malaysia, Communication and Multimedia Commission (MCMC), and Companies Commission of Malaysia. Malaysia Airline System, Lembaga Elektrik Negara and Jabatan Telekom were privatised, broadly defined, and became Malaysia Airlines, Tenaga Nasional and Telekom Malaysia respectively. The North-South Highway, which extends all the way from Kedah in the north of Peninsular Malaysia to Johor Bahru in the south, is another example of a major privatised project. One of the first public hospitals to be corporatised was the University Hospital in Petaling Jaya. The example of privatisation using method sale of equity is Tenaga Nasional Berhad, Cement Industry of Malaysia, Sports Toto Malaysia, Malaysia Airline System and Malaysian International Shipping Corporation. Next, for sale of assets, the example is quarries in Selangor, Perak and Pulau Pinang, and Motel Desa Sendirian Berhad. For lease of assets, the example is Port Klang with lease period 21 years, while North-South Highway 28 years and Malaysia Airport Berhad 60 years. The other example is Institut Jantung Negara, Shah Alam Abattoir and Syarikat Printing Malaysia. For management contract, the example is Management of Water Treatment Plant at Semenyih Dam. And for Build Operate Transfer, BOT, and Build Operate BO is Jalan Kuching, Kepon Interchange, North-South Crossing, which is BOT, and for BO is TVS.
Next is the benefits of privatization of technology growth. These are the benefits of privatization of technology. The first one is industries have an incentive to make their services and products more efficient. Next is they have access to wider range of depth of skills and expertise. The next one is can have more innovations and new technologies. And then they also can have better access to and sharing of information. And then private companies can focus on innovation, working with current customers so they can build new markets. And lastly is it can improve customer-centric services. This is the example of benefits of privatization on technology. The advantages offered by private technology transfer offices related to the finance, organization, market, and managing of transferring technology from university to industry include the following items. The first one is they can give a good consultation to industry and firms since they have access to a more comprehensive know-how database. The second one is they can orientate and define R&D projects as they know market and customers better. The next one is they can incorporate research groups in different universities with the same subject and using synergistic effect and reduce cost of research, and also they can avoid of duplicate research. And the last one is they can improve practical responses to policy issues effectively as they use more technology experts in related areas with less limitation.
Hi, my name is Nur Amira Sahira binti Muhammad Tarmizi, and I will continue with the benefits of privatization on economic growth. So the first one, improve efficiency. The primary justification for privatization is that private companies have a financial incentive to cut costs and become more efficient. Next, it is argued the governments are poor economic manager. They are motivated more by political pressure than by sound economic and business judgment. So it will lack of political interference in privatization. Besides, privatization was frequently accompanied by deregulation in which the government attempted to increase competition, and it will provide additional benefits to consumers including lower prices and promotes the creation of new products. For job creation, private owners are more likely to expand their businesses on a large scale, which has the potential to boost productivity and create more jobs in the country. The main goals of privatization in Malaysia was to reduce poverty, create more jobs, and eliminate inter-ethnic disparities. Last but not least, privatization is expected to be a major driving in encouraging global investment and business globalization, and it will cause foreign direct investment (FDI) flows. For the examples, we can see that from the table, unemployment rate decreasing from 6.1 to 3.4% in 1984 to 2015 respectively, and FDI inflows also reveal gradually increment from 1.26 to 14 billion USD in 1984 to 2015 too. Like Kashif Chowway states in revisiting privatization and economic growth in Malaysia, an empirical examination that job creation may be influenced more directly by how well privatization enterprises and corporate Malaysia in overall face the challenges of the globalization marketplace. During this time, Malaysia was one of the top recipients of foreign investment in the region. According to the Malaysian Investment Development Authority (MIDA), China, Singapore, Switzerland, Holland and Germany received the majority of investment during the period. In conclusion, recognizing that privatization will result in higher levels of economic growth and technological in Malaysia, intense privatization programs were actively pursued in order to create a private sector-led economy. The government's role in business could be rationalized by increasing privatization and creating a facilitation fund for the fully private sector, public-private partnership and government-linked companies. That's all from us. Thank you.